welcome back to the videos. Out for a quick spin this morning. Today can only be described as damp. Yeah, it's a bit miserable out today. Trying to make the most out of a bit of time on the bike because we're not quite sure what the situation is going to be over the next couple of days here in the UK. I think there's going to be a press conference tonight to shed a little bit of light as to whether we're going to be in full lockdown or not. We're now being pretty careful, only doing solo bike rides, going out for runs on our own, that kind of thing. None of us are out socially, just solo bike rides, not visiting any cafes and stuff like that, obviously. I'm sure a lot of you guys, as cyclists in the UK, are hoping to God that there isn't a lockdown in the same way that Spain did theirs, fining people for being out on their bikes, even if they're on their own. I think being out on a bike on your own is a fantastic way to self-isolate, and yeah, good for the brain as well. I've been fairly busy over the last couple of days. I'm going to carry on making content on this channel, but I've also made a batch of Bike Fit Tuesdays videos with James that I can now release over the time that everything is locked down. So we'll see what happens. There's a few interesting topics there, and yeah, play it by ear. Now, I'm getting pretty wet. Home time. Apparently it's winter again anyway. Better off inside. It's not all doom and gloom then. New toys. So these were going to be for Paris-Roubaix. Obviously that race is postponed now, so I guess I can still set them up and get them ready for whenever it's rescheduled to. This is another one of Wilier's own wheel sets, similar to my others but slightly shallower, and the idea was that I was going to kit these out tubeless so I wouldn't risk any pinch punches and stuff like that. Fair bit of spare time now, so I'm going to set those up another day. Today's video I thought it would be a nice opportunity to show you guys another one of my guitars, although in actual fact this isn't one of my guitars. Check out this. So really different from the last one we checked out. This is actually my dad's, and I'm borrowing it. This is a Yamaha SBG 2000. Now this model of guitar was actually called the SG 2000, but because of some lawsuit stuff, they ended up putting the letter B in the middle because I think another guitar brand, Gibson, got a bit upset that they were using that name. Now this is a totally different beast to the Stratocaster that I showed you last time. It feels and sounds very different, much more similar to a Les Paul, which is quite a famous model. First thing I always notice picking this up is how heavy it is. This is genuinely heavier than my bike. Well, that's not saying much with that one. Heavier than my gravel bike. Once again, this needs a bit of a restring, so cut to the restringing time lapse.
Tell me if this sounds like you. God as my witness, I'm coming through. Tell me if this.
What's going on in here?
I'm doing some isolating cookies. Although this blender definitely does not work. Vegan chocolate chip cookies. And then we've got enough stuff to make banana bread when our bananas go mouldy. Maybe chocolate fudge brownies.
We are ready for the zombie apocalypse.
These cookies will probably last less than 24 hours because I'm probably going to eat them all.
So there you go, fresh new set of strings on it. I'm testing out a different method of stringing this actually. This is called top wrapping. So you put the strings through and then around the bottom tailpiece of the bridge. Some of you guitar guys will have heard of this. To everybody else, it's pretty much irrelevant. Main differences of this guitar to the other one that I showed, which was the Stratocaster. The neck and body are all one piece of wood. So as you can see, there's no bolts or anything that join it together. Supposedly that means the sound sustains longer, so when you play a note it just rings out for ages and ages. Also a different configuration of pickups. You only have two on this style of guitar, same as a Les Paul. Both of these are humbuckers, which is a bit of a weird sounding word. They were originally developed because people didn't like the humming noise that the other pickups, the single coils, made. They've managed to get rid of it in the modern day in noiseless pickups and things like that, but that's originally why these were invented. Because of the wiring, they don't make that humming noise, but they have a distinctly different sound. quite noisy, isn't it? So there you go, that's what this thing sounds like. I think you'll agree it's a little bit of a different beast to the other guitar that I was showing you. Like I said earlier, it's very, very similar sounding to a Les Paul. And there are tons of famous musicians that use those, like Joe Bonamassa, Jimmy Page. At the moment, I'm listening to a guy called Nick Perry. In terms of famous guitarists who played one of these, I think the list is pretty short. I know before Carlos Santana was using PRS, he was using one of these. So I think that's the most notable. But yeah, lovely guitar. I do need to give this back to him at some point, kind of on my own. So yeah. Another coronavirus special vlog segment about guitars. Hope you enjoyed it.
It's just one giant cookie. Do you think they need to be done more? They're quite brown. Oh my god, I've basically made a big pancake.
You know what this isolation stuff calls for?